Karmelo Anthony now has his team scrambling to beg for more and more money, while the hundreds of thousands that have already been donated to him are very likely going to have to be returned due to fraud. Now, this is a big problem for him because knowing that this money that was sent to him is his only hope for surviving prison, which would allow him to pay extortion charges to influential inmates once he goes to prison. Now that's taken off the table, and it seems he is more desperate than ever to beg and beg anyone who will listen to please send me more of your hard-earned money to save me for murdering Austin Metcalf. However, with all of the stunts his team is pulling now and inadvertently igniting the race war more and more with each new action they take, it's clear that even money won't save him. It's gone beyond that now. If he even has any money left by the time he goes to prison, doesn't seem like he will. This means his last saving grace, at least in many people's opinion, is that due to his infamy, he will be placed into protective custody within the prison forever, and there he'll get to just live happily ever after, like a Disney movie. But as someone who has recently finished doing 10 years in prison, I'm going to explain why that cannot be further from the truth. I don't care if you're placed in general population. I don't care if you're placed in the most protective custody you could ever fathom. It's not going to make a lick of difference. I'm going to break it all down and explain why he is simply doomed. Let's get started. Now, I want to start off by saying, slightly unrelated, not really, I have been in contact with the school district of Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf. I am requesting, because this is all supposed to be public record, we are supposed to have access to this, every email within the school district that involves the name Karmelo Anthony and the last name Metcalf. I've been informed there are tens and tens of thousands already of emails that include one of those three keywords. And if I want all of those, tens of thousands, it is going to cost me $1,800 for those. I will gladly pay it. I accept, and I have accepted. I am waiting to hear back. I am ready for my emails. Get on it, school district. Get on it. Don't stall me, because as soon as I get them, y'all will get them. I will bring it right to you right here for free. No members only, no Patreon, no subscription, right here on this channel. I want to see these emails. I want to see what these principals and parents and teachers are talking about when it comes to these three keywords. I want to see them, and I think we all want to see them. Okay, my angle here is kind of what his prison experience will be like, what his ultimate fate will be. But in the meantime, I want to see those emails. Let me tell you, I'm prepared. I got the money ready. I got the check written. Let's go. Ball's in your court, school district. Email me back. Get to work. I want those emails. Stay tuned. Now, one of the newest updates here, just in the last day or so, now Karmelo Anthony supporters and his team is rallying the troops, I guess, to try to get Austin Metcalf's brother, Hunter Metcalf, arrested for the murder of his brother. They really are seriously, it's not a joke, genuinely trying to do a call to action to get Hunter Metcalf arrested for his brother's murder. Hunter Metcalf, the one who held his dying brother in his arms and watched him take his last breath. Do you know what he's gone through? Do you know what he's dealing with? And now this. Now you want him to be arrested for the murder of his twin brother. And why is this? Listen, these people have a petition on change.org with signatures to get him arrested for the murder of his brother. You know why? They're stating some law because, they still think, Austin Metcalf started this and committed a crime. They believe Austin Metcalf committed a crime with what he did to start all this. And his brother Hunter helped him commit this crime which is how this got started. And so in Texas, anyone who is participating in the commission of a crime when someone loses their life must be charged with murder as well. That is such a reach. It's such BS. You are putting this family, especially this young man, this twin brother who held his brother, Austin, as he was dying, looked him in his eyes. You know what that did to him? And now you got the gall to do this on behalf of some killer wannabe thug, Karmelo Anthony. I'm telling you, it's like every move Carmelo's side and his team makes just does nothing but worsen and worsen and worsen what his reality and his world is going to be once he inevitably goes to prison. It's just a fact. If the Aryan Brotherhood in Texas wasn't already pissed, they're livid now. They're seeing red. There's no convincing them. There's no peace talking. Because now you're just spitting on the family who lost their son for no reason. Okay, so there's that. And then Carmelo's main, what do you even call it? If there's anything that's going to save him in prison, it's his money. Money rules all until it doesn't. And this is why it's so hard to be consistent. It's so hard to get on here and be like, hey, I've been in prison a long time. I spent a third of my life in prison. This is exactly the way it's going to go. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can't do that. You are asking someone to judge people they don't know, people they hadn't been around. Now, I know how inmates think. I know how the environment is. I know some basic laws of the land. You don't know the mentality of any given group of inmates around. And what I'm saying here is, I would say 9 times out of 10, if you got the money like Karmelo has, I mean, what are we going on here? We're approaching upwards of, we're heading towards $1 million. If you got the money, which that number qualifies, he does have it. If he gets to keep that money, yes, by all accounts, you should be good. You can pay, if there's 3 people in the dorm who have say-so over everyone else in that dorm, in that cell block, in that unit, whatever you want to call it, in that building, you can pay them all. You could pay them all $2,500 a month. You could pay them all $1,000 a month. Listen, here's the thing too. It's not like it's going to cost them $50,000 a week to be okay in there. I mean, inmates, a lot of them, they're broke, and it doesn't take much to go a long way in prison. Okay. You'd be surprised. That's a whole nother story, but his money would save him. His money would save him. Now it seems he's not going to get to keep his money. Looks like they're looking into fraud charges, an investigation of fraud into the donated money and what it's for. There's no updates. They have increased their donation goal at least 2 or 3 times now. And when you do that, you're supposed to kind of let people know this is why we're increasing it. They don't do that. They just keep upping the limit, because if you don't do that, then you can't really get any more donations. So we'll just keep increasing the limit, because if idiots are going to keep donating, great. It's not going to what they alleged it was going to in the first place. Security, all this stuff. Now we find out this doofus who has a rap sheet longer than me, a 2-time felon, 10-year convict. He's the advocate and he's handling this money. He's in charge of all this. He's in charge of the security. None of his guys are licensed or trained or have any certificates to be security guards. A whole mess of things. He's probably going to have to give this money back. So now he's got nothing. He's got nothing. The one thing he might have had, he's got nothing. And when I say might have had, it's because, listen, Scott Peterson had money. He got his butt whooped this year in March. Tory Lanez. You think Tory Lanez doesn't have money? If you don't know who that is, he is a very big time celebrity Hollywood rapper and singer. Maybe you never heard of him. Maybe you have. I'm telling you now, he's big time. He's Hollywood. He's got tens of millions of dollars. He just got stabbed 2 weeks ago, if that. What, 12 times, 14 times? They got the surveillance footage. And do you know a blog company paid a CO at that prison to take their phone out and record the CCTV footage, the security camera footage that is supposed to be for guards' eyes only, prison staff only. This should never make it to the outside. They paid him to pull his phone out and record the screen in the prison showing Tory Lanez getting stabbed 12 times. This may be a conversation for another video, but what else do you think prison guards could be paid to do? We won't get into it. Just throwing that out there. But anyways, Tory Lanez is a multi-millionaire. He just got stabbed 2 weeks ago. He had to be helicoptered. Is that a word? Is that a noun, a verb? Adjective? He got flown to the hospital via helicopter because he got stabbed so many times. They even have a picture. I'll show it. I have to black and white it because I'm not allowed to show that red crimson blood. This man is covered from head to toe in blood. You think this guy who stabbed him couldn't have went up to him, approached him, and be like, hey, buddy, I'm very dangerous. You probably heard of me. Because if you're in prison, you probably know who's who and who's dangerous. Hey, buddy, you probably know who I am. You know what I'm capable of. You know I'm dangerous. Send me 50 grand or else you're going to have a bad day. I bet you Tory would have sent it. But he didn't do that. He went rogue. Tory might have been paying multiple people in that prison for protection. And guess what? It only takes one guy who, for whatever reason, we don't know why this guy wanted to do that to Tory. It doesn't matter. It could, you stepped on his shoe, you bumped into him on the way to the kitchen to get your lunch tray, you sneezed in his direction and he felt a couple sprinkles on his neck. He stabbed you up and sent you to the hospital. Doesn't care how much money you got or how famous you are. And so all these people saying, oh, Karmelo, he's so famous. Oh, people are going, oh, they're going to take him under his wing. He's going to be fine. Oh, he'll pay. It takes one person who don't give a damn about any of that. And do you think there's not one single member of the Aryan Brotherhood in Texas where it's very present? It is a very strong Aryan Brotherhood presence in Texas prisons. Do you think there's not one member who doesn't take a lot of this personal? They're seeing all this stuff and they're getting fired and more fired up by the day. You think there's not one inmate? I don't care how much money you got. I'm pissed and I'm going to get you. Now, set all that to the side. I see a lot of comments. Hey, buddy, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I'm assuming you've been to prison. And I will say that's nothing to brag about. I'm ashamed of the fact that I went to a prison a lot of times. When I'm meeting my girlfriend's parents and family, and they ask me about my past, and I have to say I've been to prison for 10 years. When I go to buy a car, What's your employment history? I don't have one. I was in prison for 10 years. When I go to sign up for a cell phone plan, what's your employment? I don't have one. I was in prison for 10 years. Oh, can you even afford this phone? Can you even afford this car? I'm embarrassed. When I go to the YMCA and I go play pickleball because it's a fun cardio pastime and I meet very nice people and they're like, hey, small talk. What do you do for a living? I'm a YouTuber. Oh, really? What's your channel? And I tell them, and then they see I'm a guy who talks about the fact I've been to prison. And I think in my mind, they probably think I am such a piece of junk, such a piece of trash. I'm embarrassed. Getting a little off topic, but I'm saying that to say I'm not talking down to you because you have an opinion about what will happen to Karmelo. I'm just saying, don't sit there and tell me about the one thing I shamefully enough am an expert on. Okay. I'm not happy that I'm an expert on it, but I am. And you know what? One thing life has taught me, you got to work with what you got. You got to play the hand you're dealt. I dealt myself this hand and I'm going to play it. I know about prison. Please don't get on here and tell me Karmelo's going to be fine because he'll go into protective custody because he's so well known. He's so widely covered in the media, blah, 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 blah. You know who else was well known and widely covered and infamous in the media? Derek Chauvin, stabbed 22 times. Scott Peterson, the crap beat out of him. Both of these this year. Tory Lanez, the biggest superstar out of anybody I could name, stabbed 12 times 2 weeks ago. Don't tell me this young man is too famous to be touched. They'll put him in protective custody. Okay. What do you think that means? Have you been watching Prison Break? I mean, did you see a show on Netflix? Did you watch a prison movie? Did you see Shot Callers? Did you see Shawshank Redemption? Like, where are you getting your information that protective custody is really that protective? Do you think the Secret Service stands like 5 of them outside of every person's cell who's on protective custody and makes sure no one even blinks in their direction? Protective custody is a joke. You are put into what is called a protective custody unit with probably 20, 30, 40 other people who are on protective custody, and they let you out of your cell for a certain time each day because they are required to, because of the law, because of how it affects your mental health. If they do not allow you out of protective custody because you're not on protective custody, because you committed a disciplinary action or broke a prison rule which requires punishment. You don't need to be punished. Your punishment is that you came to prison. Now, if you are infamous and well known and a high-risk inmate, you may need protective custody. That doesn't mean that you've done something to be punished beyond just simply being in prison. You have rights. You need to get let out of your cell, to get a shower, to socialize, to get on the phone, make phone calls, play cards, play dominoes, play chess, jerk off in the corner, whatever you want to do. You think people don't pay other people on protective custody to do something to other people on protective custody? We'll be here for 2 hours if you want me to really explain the intricacies of protective custody. Alec Murdaugh's been on protective custody since he's been sentenced to South Carolina Department of Corrections. He's already had thousands of dollars stolen from him, had a knife planted in his bedroom as an excuse for gangs to approach him and intimidate him into extortion, because they want to say you're a threat because you had a knife, and they put the knife there in his room. They just wanted a good reason to do that to him. Protective custody is, I don't know. Protective custody. Okay. In that case, every person in prison will be like, I need protective custody too. I don't want to be harmed either. And everyone would just live a great life and not have a hair on their silly little head touch. Get out of here, dude. Carmelo Anthony ain't safe anywhere he goes. Anywhere he goes, he's not safe. And that's the whole point of this video. The one thing that would save him is money, and even that money might not save him because I just gave you several examples of people who have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money, millions more than Karmelo has, and just got brutally stabbed. Look at this man. He didn't even do anything. He didn't even do anything to anybody, and he got stabbed 12 times. Helicopter flight to the hospital to save his ding-dang life. You think this man whose team that he's trusting, you're going to handle this and make everything okay. They are literally step by step doing everything they can to make people more and more and more and more and more outraged and enraged at this situation, including inmates, especially the white race-based gang Aryan Brotherhood. At this point, I genuinely don't see how there's any saving Karmelo. He picked a bad representative. That was a bad move. In my professional opinion, he's doomed. And when he gets to prison, he will not make it 3 to 5 years before we see an update in a headline. He has been rushed to a hospital due to numerous stab wounds. That is a fact. I'm just calling it now. That's my take. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was insightful and educational. And I'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Green, and I'm the dentist who helped Jumpsuit Pablo get his smile back. But it wasn't just about his smile. It was about getting his health, his confidence, and being able to fully live again. If you've been hiding your smile, or you think that full mouth reconstruction is out of reach, I want you to know that your medical insurance may have benefits to cover this surgery. Every day, we help people just like you. To see if you qualify, just scan the QR code or email me directly. I'm Dr. Green, and I'd love to see if I can help you.